So let's just break this up, right? So how did this come about? This is n, k equals to 1. That will not change. Ln, that will not change. What's this about? This is b minus a over n, which equals to 5 over n. So now we know that b minus a is equal to a 5. Okay. Now, the way to get these problems is to look at the following. If here you have 5 over n, and here you have 5 over n simply with k added to it, that means your life is pretty easy. Why? Because if that is the case, this is going to be your x. Okay, so like I said, if the 5 over n on the outside is the same on the inside, but only simply with a k attached to it, then that means the whole thing inside is just the x term. And how do you define the x term in the Riemann sum? It's going to be a plus b minus a over nk. So what this basically means is that here we have x is equal to 2 as the a, 5 over n times k. So right now we just found out that the a is equal to 2. So go back to the equation. B minus 2 is equal to 5. So b is equal to 7. Okay. So now basically we know the following. We're essentially integrating from a of 2 to b of 7. We put the ln. The whole thing in the bracket is just an x. And of course the 5 over n outside will go away when you integrate and just gets replaced by dx. So our answer is going to be choice A. So let's just first look at our shaded region. It starts at 1 and ends at 4. That means that a is equal to 1 and b is equal to 4. And so b minus a over n is just equal to 3 over n. So you must have 3 over n, which we don't in D, which we don't in C. Now that's number 1. Number 2, if the outside is 3 over n, okay, and the inside is identical to it, but just with a k, okay, then your life is going to be easy. But now this happens here in A and also in B. So what's going on exactly? Okay. Now look, the function is ln of x. So that means ln, and instead of x, you should know it's going to be a plus b minus a over nk. So ln, and we know that the a is equal to a 1 plus b minus a, that will be a 3 over nk. So that means you must have ln bracket 1 plus 3 over nk, which we do in part B, in choice B. The answer is B. Okay, so the first thing to do here is to say that the a is equal to 2 and the b is equal to 5. So b minus a over n would be 5 minus 2 over n, which is 3 over n. That means you must have 3 over n on the outside. So it's not going to be choice A, and it's not going to be choice C. Now, how do we define the x? X is equal to a plus b minus a over n times k. Okay, and we know that the a is equal to a 2, and the b minus a is just a 3. So that's going to be our x. And we see our x basically in choice D. That's our x squared, because if you recall back in here, the x was squared. Okay, so it's going to be choice D, the answer. So here the a is 2 and the b is 6. So we're going to say b minus a over n is equal to 6 minus 2 over n, which equals to 4 over n. That means you must see 4 over n somewhere, which we don't see in B, which we don't see in D. Okay. Now we have to have x under the square root, and you should know that x is equal to a plus b minus a n k. So x is equal to, our a is 2 plus 4 over n k. You must see this under the square root. So it's going to be choice C. Okay, so how did this 3 over n come about? It's basically b minus a over n. So b minus a is equal to a 3, essentially. And what's this here? This is going to be our x term. X is equal to a plus b minus a over nk. X is equal to, it seems that there's, nothing but 3 over nk, meaning that a is equal to a 0. Okay, so if a is equal to a 0 and if b minus a is equal to a 3, then b minus 0 is equal to a 3, or b is just equal to a 3. That means our interval will be ranging from a of 0 to b of 3. And here we have our x, which is just squared dx. And now if you were to integrate, you would get x cubed over 3 from 0 to 3, which means you will get 3 cubed over 3. It's going to be choice 9. I mean, number 9, which is choice C. Okay, so let's see what's happening here. This is the b, and this is the a, and b minus a over n would be equal to 6 over n. So that means you cannot have choice A. Okay. Looking here, we have 4 ln, which they all do. And you must have, so x, what's x expression? X is equal to a plus b minus a n over k. So x is equal to a, which is just a 1, right? Plus 6 over nk. So you must have after the ln, so you must have 4 ln 1 plus 6 over nk, and this 2 is separate, plus 2. So 4 ln, okay, right. So now the reason that I don't see my answer there is because here they're saying it's the left Riemann sum approximation. And when it comes to left Riemann sum approximation, it's almost the same thing, but just play around with the k, make it k minus 1. That's why they said left Riemann sum. So you must have k minus 1 in there, which we don't see in B. And so C looks like the perfect match, basically. Okay. And D would have been the answer if they did not say left Riemann sum. But because they said left Riemann sum, that means you must have on the K, you put minus 1. Okay, so let's just start here by looking at the 8 over n. That means b minus a over n is equal to 8 over n, meaning that b minus a is equal to an 8. Okay. Now, if this is our x term, that would be x is equal to a plus b minus a over nk. So that would be x is equal to minus 2 for the a, right? And then 8 over nk. And here we see a cubed. That means you would have x cubed. So, and so basically, if the a is equal to a minus 2, right, then the b is equal to 8 plus a, which means 8 plus minus 2, which means 6. So then we can say from negative 2 to 6, x cubed dx, which I see in choice 1. So one has to be correct, meaning that B is wrong and C is wrong. Okay, let's see if the others apply as well. Okay, let's see it. So here, okay, assuming that choice 2 is correct, the A would be 0 and the B would be 8. So what's going to happen is the x term is equal to A plus B minus A n k, which means x is equal to 0 plus 8 over n k. Okay, which means x is equal to 8 over n k. So if that's the case, then this would be here negative 2 plus 8 over n k cubed, right? And guess what? It's right here. Negative 2 plus 8k over n cubed. That means that choice 2 is also correct, so it has to be D. That means that choice 3 also has to be correct. Now let's see why triple I would have made sense to be chosen. So look, if you look at this one here, the A is 0 and the B is equal to 1. So x is equal to A plus B minus A over nk. So x is equal to 1 over nk. So x is equal to k over n. Okay. And so let's just take this one more step. That means we have here minus 2 plus 8. Instead of x, put k over n, and the whole thing has to be cubed. Okay? Which does match this one. Now, of course, someone is going to say, how about this 8? Where did this 8 come from? Well, if you know about the integration of the u term, so right now, if the u term is minus 2 plus 8x, then the du term is equal to 8. So this is like saying from 0 to 1, okay, u du, okay? And this is why triple I is also going to be correct. So let's start with the 4 over n. That means b minus a over n is equal to 4 minus n. That means that b minus a is equal to a 4. And as of the second, all of them have b minus a is equal to a 4. Okay, let's see what's happening here. So this would be x. X is equal to a plus b minus a over nk. X is equal to 1 plus 4 over nk. Okay. So yeah, so that's going to be my x term. Okay. Now the remaining part is why is there 12k over 1? So what is that exactly? Okay. Let's see what that's about. So 12k over 1 just means 3 times b minus a over n. That's what it means. And this will not make sense for most of the choices. So that means our x is just wrong. This is not our x, okay? Instead, our x has to be 4 over nk, okay? Because that would mean this would be essentially, this is k here, that would be basically 3 times 4 over nk, which means that this would be a 3x. So x has to be this to have a 3x on the outside. So you must have a 3x on the outside. So it's not going to be choice A, and it's not going to be choice C, okay? And let's get back 1 second. So if x is equal to 4 over nk, then this would be 1 plus x. That means you will have cosine of 1 plus x. Okay, and when the x is equal to 4 over nk, then the 3x on the outside would be 12 over nk. Okay, and now this equation is going to make perfect sense. Okay, so let's just step back and look at it. So this would be our x, and this would be our 3x. So now we're going to have 3x cosine 1 plus x dx. Okay, which is choice D. So I see the same thing as the last question. So if this is my x term, that would be my 2x. That means I would have 2x on the outside. So I'm going to have 2x times the square root of 1 plus x, which is going to be choice D. Okay, now here they're asking for the left Riemann sum. We already learned that left Riemann sum means you have to have k minus 1. So it's not going to be choice B, and it's not going to be choice D. Okay. Now, so this is going to be my, okay, it's not going to be choice A, and the reason is because B is 8 and A is 2, so B minus A over N is equal to 6 over N. You must see 6 over N, which is going to be choice C. Okay, so here we can use this to say this is B minus A over N. That means I must have 5 over N. That means B minus A is equal to 5. Okay, so and if this would be my x term, so I'm going to say x is equal to a plus b minus a over nk. So x is equal to negative 1 plus 5 over nk. So that means a is equal to a negative 1, so b minus negative 1 is equal to 5. So b plus 1 is equal to 5. So b is equal to 4. So that means I can have my integral from negative 1 to a 4, okay, with sine of the x term dx, which means that choice 1 has to be correct. So it's not B and it's not C. Okay, let's see what else we can work here with. So for the next options, I will look at it this way, right? So here, the A is 0 and the B is 5. So I can say A is x is equal to A plus B minus A over N K. So it's like saying x is equal to 0 plus 5 over N K. So x is equal to 5 over N K. Okay, so in that case, what's happening here is that we're saying the integration from 0 to 5 sine of negative 1 plus x, which, by the way, matches this one, right? Negative 1 plus 5k over n, and 5k over n is just an x. So choice 2 is also going to work. So it's going to be choice D. But let's explain why triple I is also correct. So here, we would basically say that for this to work, that would be sine of negative 1 plus 5, and x would be just k over n. So how would x be just k over n? Because look, x is equal to a plus b minus a and k. So if my a is 0, 0 plus, and my b is 1, 1 minus 0 is just a 1, k. So x is equal to k over n. So yeah, it does work, basically. It does work. Okay, and someone smart is going to say, well, wait a minute, what's this 5 for? Well, look, this is called the u term. So the u term is equal to minus 1 plus 5x. That means the du term is equal to 5. That's why there is 5 in here. Because now you can integrate if you have a du. Okay, so here we have our b minus a over n, which is 1 over n. That means that b minus a is equal to 1. So it's not going to be choice B, and it's not going to be choice A. That's the first thing you have to know. Next up, here is going to be our x. So x is equal to a plus b minus a over nk. Now, we know that a could not be a number that is so large because the whole thing b minus a is equal to 1. So our answer is going to be either C or D, meaning that a is going to be a 0. So x is equal to a 0 plus 1 over nk. So essentially x is equal to k over n. So now the question is, where did this 2 come from and where did this 2 come from? Okay, so essentially what's happening here is that this is just 1 over 2 plus, you take your x and you divide by 2, right? So right now, if you take this x and divide by 2, you will get x is equal to k over 2n. And so you must have this in the answer. So the answer is going to be choice C.